Hey everyone, how's it going? Memory here, back for the 12 days of anime. This is day number 4, and with this video, we're kind of going to be switching things up a bit. It's not going to be a ranking video or a haul video like you have saw for the first 3 days on my channel, but we're actually going to be talking about a series today, and I'm not going to keep you all too long. Trust me, I want to keep this as brief as possible. I don't want to drag it on too much, but as you can tell from the title of the video, we're going to be talking Erased, one of the more hyped shows of 2016, while also being one of the more controversial shows of 2016. Let's get into it. So you either really loved Erased or you really hated Erased. At least to me, and from what I saw when the show aired, there weren't really a whole lot of people who were in between. And granted, with every single show, you're going to have people who are in between. So Erased had that, the group of people who thought it was average or meh. And I've watched a ton of shows that were like that for me. So there were people like that for Erased. But it was really just overshadowed by this huge, crazy fan base who absolutely adored Erased and loved it and would defend it until the day the world ended. And there was a huge group of people who absolutely despised Erased and would take every single chance they could get to shit on it. And I'm going to let you all know right now, right off the bat, before we get into this, the good stuff, that I really did enjoy Erased. I'm not one of those crazy lunatic fans like some people are, but I really did enjoy the show. And I should probably say this before we go any further, because this whole thing is going to revolve around Yashiro. If you've watched Erased, you should know what Yashiro is, or what it's all about with him. So if you have not watched Erased, I'm warning you right now, there are going to be spoilers in this video. And it's definitely a show I would recommend to anyone, because there's, like I said, there's a whole lot of people that love it. There's a whole lot of people who hate it. So if you go and watch it, if you haven't watched it, then you can form your own opinion, see the side of people who like it, see the side of people who don't like it, and their reasons why, and kind of come up with your own opinions and your own judgments once you watch the show, of course. So I'm going to take one of the things from the con side, or the people who didn't like Erased, and I'm kind of going to defend that. That's what I'm really going to do in this video, and it really revolves around Yashiro and the mystery, if you want to say, with Erased. And I think we should start with the opening, which, by the way, just a side note, is one of my favorite openings of all time. It just seems like anything Asian Kung Fu generation is on, I love. The original Full Metal Alchemist, the 4th opening, absolutely adore that opening. It is great, it is tremendous, and Erased is the same way. One of my favorite openings of all time, honestly. But there's one thing, one select thing, one little thing that I really don't like about the opening. And I know a lot of people who don't like Erased don't like this with the opening. And it has nothing to do with the writing. It has nothing to do with the source material or anything like that, or the directing. It's the opening animator, because they have that with shows. They have opening animators, they have ED or ending animators. And for some reason, the opening animator decided to put a shot of Yashiro. I don't even think you have to go frame by frame. You could probably just pause it and see Yashiro kind of flash on the screen, just showing you, hey, 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 I'm the killer. That's pretty much what it was in the opening. And that's what a lot of people really didn't like. Now, here's the thing. I didn't really notice that until it was pointed out to me, but when it was pointed out to me, I already kind of knew that Yashiro was the killer, because I was predicting it and saying it around like episode 5 or 6, and then one of my close friends pointed it out to me, and I was like, whoa, I never really noticed that, because after my first or second reaction when the opening of Erased was played for the first time, in my future reactions for it, I skipped over the opening every time. So I never really noticed it until it was pointed out to me closely. But at that point, I already knew pretty much that Yashiro was the killer. So that was one thing that I know a lot of people who didn't like Erased didn't really like, was that thing with the opening. And I do not blame you at all, because I really don't like when shows do that and animators do that. They decide to pretty much just a big thing, like a big development within a show, and they show it in the opening. I have never really got that, but it happened with Erased. It's happened with a lot of shows as well. But here's the thing. Erased started off, if we forget about the opening, if you did not notice that like I did, Erased actually started off as a really well done mystery for me. I was actually like wondering who the killer was. I didn't really know, and I was trying to piece it all together and all that through the first 3 or 4 episodes. And when it reached a certain point for me, when I was like, okay, it's this man, it's like just plain in sight, it is Yashiro. And let me remind you, this is before I saw that part in the opening, so I really had no idea. But I think it was like episode 5 or 6, I was like, okay, I know it is Yashiro, and I'm going to stick with that until the very, very end. And a lot of people knew it was Yashiro as well. But from that point on, for me, it wasn't really about the mystery with Erase, because it was sort of easy to figure out. And that's why a lot of people didn't like Erase, because it wasn't a real mystery. It was too easy. But the thing with Yashiro, from that point on where it became obvious to me, was how to stop him. How was Satoru going to go about stopping him? It wasn't about the mystery. It was about him going about stopping Yashiro from the stuff that happened to Kaio and whatnot. And it was more about that. And it wasn't really about the mystery anymore for me. And that's why I think I was able to enjoy Erased a whole lot more, because I kind of took it from that aspect. I was like, okay, I know who it is, and it was easy to figure out, granted, but how is Satoru going to stop this man? How is he going to stop Yashiro? That's how I kind of took it. And that's probably why, like I said, I enjoyed it more than a lot of people did, because they were so set on, oh, it was too easy, this is bullshit, like it was Yashiro and whatnot. But that was kind of like how I took it. I was just like, I'm gonna enjoy this a whole lot more if I kind of just enjoy the ride and go through it, like, and see how Satoru goes about stopping this man, and it not being really about the mystery. Of course, for Satoru in the show, he really had no idea until one of the few last episodes, which we can't do anything about that. That is the writing. There is some poor writing choices, I would say, in Erased, but overall, it was a fun thriller. It's a fun psychological thriller. Not really. It wasn't like no Serial Experiments Lane or no Evangelion. But it was a weaker psychological thriller show that had some little bits of mystery. Maybe a mystery that was too easy to solve at first. But once it became obvious, and it was quickly that it became obvious, really from that point on, it was more about the ride. And like I said, seeing how he was going to stop this man, Yashiro. So with that said, I want to know what you all think. Did you think the mystery with Erased was too obvious? Did it take you a while to figure it out? Did you ever catch that part in the opening where they flashed Yashiro there and it was like, hey, here, I'm the killer? Or were you one of those people like me who kind of just was interested and wanted to see how Satoru was going to stop Yashiro after you already knew it was very, very obvious who the killer was? Or are you just one of those people that was like, oh, it was too easy, Yashiro was the killer and this was bullshit, it took me like 2 or 3 episodes to figure it out? Or maybe you saw the opening and you were like, oh, that's bullshit, and you knew throughout the whole series that it was Yashiro. Let me know down in the comments below. We can have a discussion down there if you would like. Just anything you want to say about Erase. I know I didn't talk about everything about Erase. I really just wanted to talk about one thing, and that was the whole mystery with Yashiro and whatnot. So, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all for day 5 of the 12 Days of Anime. Peace out, everyone.